This story concerns two robbers from well-known families who, despite earlier warnings, the king expelled them from the city. Their way of life was drastically altered by a Muni, leading them to give up thieving. A long time ago, two thieves hailing from esteemed families, one belonging to the Vaishya class and the other to the Brahman lineage, were banished from the city by the king despite giving 3 prior warnings. Despite the concerns of their well-wishers urging them to abandon their thieving ways, yet they remained steadfast in their criminal pursuits. The king, upon being informed by the city's Kotwal, issued several warnings. They persisted them of severe consequences, yet they remained in their illicit activities. Ultimately, the king had no choice but to expel them from his domain. Both the married friends had no issues. The mother of the thief belonged to a Vaishya family and had great affection for her son. During departing from the city, the mother also wished to accompany her son. Hence, the total people were 5 who left the city in search of another town suitable for their profession. At last, they found a suitable town for their profession and decided to settle there. They hired 2 houses to rent. Before starting their work, both wished to filter the configuration of the city adequately for a smooth run without hindrance. However, their profession of stealing has gone on cropping well. Both the married friends faced no issues, and both of them didn't have children. The thief's mother, who belonged to a Vaishya family, had great affection for her son. When they departed from the city, the thief's mother also wished to accompany her son, so the total number of people leaving the city was 5, including her. Finally, they found a suitable town for their profession and decided to settle there. They rented 2 houses. Before starting their work, they wished to assess the city thoroughly to ensure a smooth operation without any obstacles. However, their profession of stealing flourished in the new city. They had settled well in their new surroundings and were content. One day, while out scouting for a potential target to steal from, they happened upon a sermon by a Muni. The sermon had a profound impact on them, sparking a desire to seek guidance from the Muni for their own well-being. After establishing themselves in their profession, they finally had the opportunity to converse with the Muni. Upon hearing their tale, the Muni advised them to abandon their thieving ways, explaining the harm it caused to others. However, they expressed their lack of skills in any other profession and their imminent struggle for livelihood if they were to quit. In response, the Muni suggested an alternative approach. Before engaging in any conflict or confrontation, they should take 3 steps back. They agreed to abide by this advice. On a fateful day, returning home early without having committed any theft, one of them stumbled upon a heartbreaking scene, his wife being unfaithful. Enraged, he instinctively reached for his sword but remembered the Muni's counsel to step back before acting. As he stepped back, he overheard his mother instructing his wife to cover herself properly. This intervention, made possible by his adherence to the Muni's advice, averted a tragedy. He retired to another bed, reflecting on the miraculous effect of the promise he made to the Muni, which ultimately spared 2 lives. The next day, he recounted to his friend the miraculous event, that had spared his family from a looming tragedy because of a pledge they had made. Inspired, they decided to seek out the Muni once more for a more substantial vow. The Vaishya thief shared the story of the pledge's impact with his friend, emphasizing its transformative power. They resolved to pursue an even greater commitment. When they approached the Muni and explained their profession, he pondered for a moment before suggesting they abstain from eating after sunset, as it could help mitigate violence. The effect of this new pledge was evident in the decreased frequency of their thievery, aligning more closely with their basic needs. Additionally, they found themselves attending sermons more frequently, deepening their spiritual engagement. The second vow affected their thought processes. If they acquired enough wealth to pull on their rest of lives, they would like the stealing profession. Soon they encountered a gang of robbers seemed like an opportunity. The robbers aimed to plunder a wealthy merchant, and after a successful heist in the forest, they left the merchant alive but took his wealth. With a hefty amount of wealth in hand, the robbers planned a celebratory feast where each member would contribute a dish of their choice to relish the party. However, driven by greed, they decided to poison their dishes in an attempt to claim the wealth for themselves. As the dinner commenced with wine and dancing, the robbers, ironically, refrained from tasting their own dishes. Consequently, they all perished from the poisoned food, while the cautious thieves, who had taken a vow not to eat after sunset, remained unharmed. In a miraculous turn of events, the thieves found themselves alive, having honored their pledge and avoiding the poisoned food. They divided the wealth equally and departed home happily. Both the friends have quit the stealing profession and mostly were active for the public welfare. Sid's son wished to do something more meaningful for self-esteem. After a deep thought, one day he met Muni for Diksha to go for penance. He took an initiation without informing his friend for the act. Now he was a naked Muni. His friend did not appreciate his attitude in becoming the monk silently, as both used to follow the same path till now. He felt and then he scolded him for his negligent conduct. From now I will not pursue your suggestion. Saying so, he also evolved his life as a saint and did not bother to inform his friend Muni. Knowing the event, his friend Muni visited and tried to convince his friend to quit this type of ritual, as its outcome would not be very fertile. But his friend was adamant about doing what he felt was right. I would not do that to you. This was their last meeting and never met after. Doing hard penance, both took birth in the first heaven but at different statuses.